Hi folks, it's Laura with Raintree Nursery, and today we are at the home of my good friend Christi Nieto and her lovely son Benji. And you told us this is a surprising spot because from the outside it looks like just any old suburban home, right?
It's like a suburban house from the 70s.
Uh-huh.
We've been here 15 years and we fell in love with the property, not so much the house. It was pretty outdated.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we moved here and we started working on the house and went a little crazy with the plants. So really into unusual edibles, and you'll see that the back is completely different from the front.
Yeah, so let's go look at it.
You lead the way. Here's our 10-year-old rosemary. There's 5 of them under the eaves, never watered. They're awesome.
Oh, they smell.
And every year I have to cut them back.
Fantastic. Do you ever do shish kebabs with the rosemary stems?
I haven't done shish kebab. Honestly, what I mostly do with them is I put them in our wool, with our wool clothes.
Oh,
So.
and they deter moths?
Yeah, they do.
Awesome.
And cedar as well. And then behind you is a quince.
Oh,
it's
look at
Aroma
this.
Naya quince, which gets quite a lot of plants. Fruit. The squirrels do love them. And
That's
we're going to
amazing.
walk this way. Right over here. We have 3 hardy kiwis.
Look at this. Oh, this is a happy plant.
Yeah, so right now I think you can get one that has male and female, but this one we have 2 females and 1 male. And it's loaded.
Yeah.
Usually loaded.
Can
The
you see
squirrels
this? This is so awesome.
We have to keep the squirrels away from it.
Look at all this fruit.
It's really fun.
And of course the benefits are that you can harvest this while it's still hard and you can ripen it inside. So the squirrels and the jays and the raccoons and everything that would take grapes that have to ripen on the vine, they don't get so much of this because they don't realize that it's ripe yet. And so you can take it and ripen it inside. So
Yes.
such a great crop for an urban gardener.
And speaking of that, a Rainier Cherry, which is behind Joe, everything's behind you, Joe. This Rainier Cherry I bought so that we could eat it before it looked ripe to the birds.
Yes.
And this is on a small root, I think it's Gisela 5 rootstock. It's Vandalay actually. But I planted a Rainier. I don't remember where I planted it. This is Vandalay, but it's on Gisela 5, which shouldn't get too big. And this is 10 years old.
This is cool.
This is to deter squirrels, but it didn't work for very long. They're so smart.
It
And
looks
this is the
intense
first year
though.
we had problem with caterpillars on our fruit trees.
Oh,
We've
interesting.
never had it before.
And every year is different, right?
Every year
Now
is
you get to
different.
watch to see
Yeah.
if next year
Yeah,
the same thing happens,
yeah,
right?
exactly. I
Yeah.
think I need to let our chickens out more.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that was part of the problem. We did pass a few pears, which are on the tail. You know, there's not a whole lot of fruit on them right now. Some have dropped. I'll just point out the most interesting one of them, which is the largest Asian pear available. And I got this from Raintree.
Oh, is this the Korean giant?
It's called Nishirasu.
Ah, it's a
So-
different one.
Yeah, it must be different. You can step in here. It's just,
Wow, look at this.
they get even bigger, but there's
Wow.
a few. This branch, I was leaving it for you. I need to thin it out. I should have thinned it out, but it's just so exciting.
I mean,
And-
I have big hands, and look at this. This is crazy
And
big.
I've seen them get way bigger. The one in the catalog is huge, so that's why I ordered it. So yeah, this was on my last Raintree order before Sam quit.
See, and this is one of the amazing things about Asian pears. The trees don't have to get very big before they start producing a tremendous amount
It's
of
amazing.
fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got fruit the first year.
Yeah.
This one.
They're so fast to produce, and they last in the fridge for
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And they're good for sweet and for kind of salads and savory things
And they're
too.
so small. I actually have one that's in a pot that I can't figure out where to plant. And I cannot remember the name of it, but it has little tiny pears. It's not Seckle.
Yeah.
It's something different. And the pears were falling off the tree, and I thought, the squirrels are doing this. But it turns out, I looked it up, and it was just a really early ripener.
Oh,
So
neat.
you
Yeah.
can have them in a pot. So I think it's a great city
A great
city
city tree. Yeah.
So here is that tree I was talking about. It lost all its leaves because it got really dry, but this is a Raintree tree. I believe it's Bellingham. It's like a suckle pear, and it grows here really, really well. I otherwise only know of 1 or 2 people that grow suckle pears in the region.
This is so important for people to recognize. If a tree gets stressed during the summer, it will drop its leaves. That does not mean it's dead. You can see this is already starting to put out brand new leaves. This is not dead. It just had a little stress episode, and you're continuing to water it,
Yeah,
and continuing to baby it, right? And now it's coming back. So trees are so much more durable than we give them credit for.
So I did bring it over, put it in the shade, and put it in the nursery area where I can baby it.
Yeah, and this is the nursery area,
This
right?
is the nursery area. I'm a bit of a plant hoarder, and so I have some interesting fruit that I'm trying to find a home for, if you guys are interested.
This is the native black raspberry?
It's black cap.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I just discovered some
Yeah.
of these at our house.
Yeah, they're really sweet.
They
And
are
they're-
wonderful.
And they're early.
Yes, that's
So-
true too. That's right.
I saw somebody at the gate.
That's okay. It's okay. People come. This is a Himalayan honeysuckle, which people say tastes like chocolate, but it does not to me. Do you like it?
This reminds me kind of they remind me sort of chocolate covered raisins.
Yeah.
They have a raisiny
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
does this spread for you? Do you have to really
I don't
watch
have to do
this?
anything. I don't have to water it. The wind a couple days ago just
right.
tore this apart, so I apologize. It looks like I don't care about it.
But it's going to come right back.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
beauty
totally
of this
fine.
plant.
It's
Yes.
really easy to prune, and it's pretty prolific.
Yeah, and these fruits are super soft. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
The 2 big trees behind you are the only 2 things that were growing on this property.
These beautiful apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These, they're old Gravenstein apples, and they were used to produce
Somebody's at the
vinegar
gate.
in the neighborhood. There was a vinegar processing plant.
Oh
a few
my
doors
gosh.
down at the park. Just a few doors
Wow,
down.
that's lovely. These are such, amazing. They add such structure.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
such a feeling of weight.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a couple of old mature fruit trees, don't take them out, even if they're falling over. You know, because
They're fun to restore too. Yeah.
You've done a very nice job
Thanks.
on the structure of these. Yeah.
Thank you. They're lovely. So, and
Mommy,
over here
somebody's at the gate.
Oh, more sea berry.
we have sea berries.
Very
Right
nice.
here we have a male and a female.
Uh-huh.
This is the female. I can't figure out which one is the runner. One of them likes to run and make babies. If anybody knows if it's the male or the female that runs, please let me know.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, they run like crazy. So, here's one, for instance. This just came up, and I usually cut them down. Sometimes I leave them.
It
I'd
looks
love
so
to know.
healthy.
Oh, I know. It would just turn into a thicket, though.
Well, you know, if you let it get a little bit older, then you'll be able to see whether it
right.
has the male or the female blossoms, and then you'll be able to tell.
It's probably a male then. I've never seen
Since
one
it's right
fruit.
next to the male, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're
probably a
close,
male.
so it would be
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit of patience and watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
So-
show.
So that's that.
And this is a beautiful plum.
That is a Shiro plum. It's the
Ah.
earliest plum that
Yes.
we have. And it probably produces more than any other plum that we have.
These are
and
crazy
they're
productive.
yellow. They're really fun. The
They're-
birds don't bother mine.
Yeah, and they last in your fridge. We make a plum corn salsa
Ooh.
out of this.
Oh, wow.
And it's so good.
That sounds really good.
This is also a really great small scale tree for urban gardeners.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get super tall, so it doesn't shade things out.
It gets really wide.
It gets wide,
Yeah.
exactly. So you can hold other nursery plants under here. You can grow your currants and your gooseberries and
Great
your
idea.
josta berries under here, things that take a little bit of extra shade, but you still get the amazing production from this tree.
Yeah.
And it's self-fertile too.
It is.
So
yeah, you don't need
you don't
anything
have
else.
to have
you can
another
have one plum, get a Shiro.
Yeah.
I love my Shiro.
So this is a beautiful English walnut, right?
Yes. And this tree is loaded. This tree and that tree were planted at the same time. This one produces tons of nuts. And the really interesting thing about this is that we have squirrels that take all the nuts every year, year after year. in the last 2 years, we've had a family of hawks build a nest in the little woods
Right over
behind
there.
Nieto.
Uh-huh.
And so we have had zero squirrel activity last year and this year until about September 1st or so, and then the squirrels are panicking that they haven't been around, and they are going crazy right now. But we had walnuts last year, and this year we almost got walnuts, but the hawks took off. As soon as the hawks are gone, the squirrels come in.
Wow.
So it's kind of fun.
So you have to figure out ways to make the hawks happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have hawks and green herons that nest here every year. So.
Beautiful. So I see right here you have a beautiful example of how you can plant fruit for people other than human beings, because you got your chickens right here, yeah?
Yeah. So I planted this so that I could enjoy this white mulberry for a few years before it starts to cover the chickens. And so they will get half of the fruit because it'll drop into their coop. They do come out every evening, so they have.
So
had
they'll
it
pick up
before.
anything that drops.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I planted this 2 years ago, and it started producing fruit pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I was impressed.
I mean, 2 years. This is
Yeah.
great. This
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a happy tree. Even though it hardly gets any water back here because it's, it's kind of a dry area.
And it probably gets a lot of nutrition because it's right next to the chickens,
Yeah.
which offer a lot of nitrogen. So fast growing, will provide shade as well as passive feeding for the chickens.
And it's growing in the most acidic part of our property because we have a lot of pine trees here. So
Yeah,
super
very
easy to
durable.
grow mulberry.
Very nice. Thank you so much for having us here.
You're
It's been
welcome.
such a treat. Well, this is Laura from Raintree Nursery, and we'll see you next time.